Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm going to chat with you about TRE with my business Nutra, which means to nurture. TRE stands for Tension and Trauma Releasing Exercises. It's a type of somatic therapy that I like to share with clients and all people. So if you know someone that would benefit from some somatic work, right? So working with the body, if someone maybe feels numb in their body, doesn't like to feel their feelings, maybe emotions, they struggle with acknowledging what is happening in their body, or even just chronic pain, physical pain, emotional pain. TRE can help with so much, and it's so gentle. So if this inspires you to share with someone that you might know, please pass it along. I would love to have people learn more about their nervous system, what's going on in their body, so that they can just accurately have more information about themselves. Okay, so a little bit about myself. I have a background in the hard sciences, so I'm going to be releasing more videos that talk more about the latest neuroscience, what goes on in our bodies when it comes to nervous system regulation. I'm very passionate about that, and I would love to bring in different aspects of science into this work to educate more people on it. So I received my master's degree at the University of Wisconsin-Madison in comparative biomedical sciences, and I also am peer support certified. This was a 40-hour certification that helps with trauma-informed care, as well as working with people in recovery centers. I'm a certified TRE provider trained by the founder, Dr. Berselli, and JC Sundley, who also has been around training for quite some time. And my main focus as a provider is to always keep everyone safe. I want you to feel safe in your body. I want you to know that you have complete control of what's going on, whether we're working virtually or in person. I always want you to feel empowered within your body so that you can make the right decisions for you and your nervous system. This work is important to make sure that I am trauma informed so that I can provide a safe and gentle space for you to grow and thrive and heal. During these sessions, we experience something called co-regulation, where our bodies simply come to a homeostasis simply by interacting with one another. And it's pretty incredible. It happens in person. It also happens virtually, which is really, really cool. And as we feel comfortable to co-regulate, then I start to help empower you to learn how to self-regulate. So if there are times where there are stressful periods outside of class, which that's what life is, then I want you to feel empowered to self-regulate and do different things to ground your body, get yourself back into a safe space, maybe even do TRE on your own. And this is just another tool to add to your toolbox. So it's something that I encourage you to just continue to explore and peel back your own onion layers. This can help transform our dynamics with ourselves, with our families, with our communities. It helps people come out of their addiction, because that addiction is a symptom in the body, right? Coming back into homeostasis, that's what the body really wants. And so when we pull that trigger or that symptom out of the body by releasing it through TRE, then we're healing people from the inside out. It's really incredible work. So I work with therapists for tailored care plans for individual clientele. I work with couples, families, kids, recovery centers, etc. And what is TRE? So we're going to start getting into it here. TRE stands for Tension and Trauma Releasing Exercises. This series of exercises is used to help release deep muscular patterns within the body through initiation of the tremor mechanism. What happens is our fascia will vibrate during TRE to heal old or new injuries. Fascia, if we don't know what fascia is, it's this spider webby material that encases our muscles, our nerves. It runs all throughout our body, sends signals up to the brain and from the brain down out to the body. Our fascia has a big component to our everyday movement. Okay, so our fascia is really, really important, and our muscles are limited without our fascia. So what happens when we're doing TRE and we're doing this work, we're breaking through old fascial patterns, these old patterns that are holding us into a contracted place in our bodies. And so when we come out of that contraction, we have an openness in our bodies. We can breathe better. Our muscles feel more relaxed. We're able to relax, and we're able to come out of that chronic fight or flight experience. So we'll get more into the chronic flight or fight experience when we look into the nervous system coming up here. But first, what is tremoring? Tremoring is a natural mechanism that involves shaking to release any energy that has not been released to bring the body back to homeostasis. And so this shaking begins in the inner thighs, travels up the psoas, and then along the vagus nerve along the spine. So it's impacting our nervous system directly, which makes it different than yoga, right? Yoga is regulating to the nervous system because we focus on mindfulness, breath, movement of the body. But this TRE actually focuses directly on that vagus nerve, impacting that vagal tone directly. Okay. The origin story. So the creator of TRE is Dr. David Berceli, and he discovered TRE when he was living in a war zone. There were 8 people during this grenade attack, and the children around him were huddled and were able to tremor. And the adults on the other end were not tremoring. So he observed this, and the children were able to get right back up after the grenade attack and go play like they weren't even impacted at all, whereas the adults were the ones that struggled. They experienced PTSD, a lot of tension in the body because they weren't able to release that excess energy from that grenade attack that their body created. Okay, so Dr. Berceli was like, what is this tremor? What is this all about? And so he realized that we don't tremor as we get older simply because we don't want to appear weak to our friends, our family, our communities. We want to appear really strong. And so by shaking, that makes you look weak. And so now it's the process of unlearning that understanding, that social dynamic, so that we can restore our body into a more relaxed state when we need to, okay? The benefit of somatic work. Somatic means relating to the body, which is distinct from the mind. Okay? So a lot of our nerves, about 80 to 90% of our nerves, are going from our body sensations up to the brain. And the rest of the signaling, maybe 10% of that signaling is going from the brain down. So somatic work is super, super important for us to become even more embodied within ourselves. Here are some of the benefits. There are so many more. I have so many awesome stories that I can share too on this channel on just experiences providing TRE with people. Some experience reduced symptoms of PTSD, experience more energy, endurance, better sleep. reduced muscle pain, reduced back pain, greater emotional resiliency is a huge one, heal old injuries, relief from chronic medical conditions, decrease symptoms of direct and vicarious trauma, etc. There's just so much to benefit from doing this work. The approach that I like to take with this work is connecting and harmonizing the mind, body, and spirit, because at some point we stopped feeling in our bodies, we stopped feeling safe in our bodies, and a lot of times it just turns off that connection and that communication with the body. And so I notice some people will even say, oh, I'm fine, everything's fine, there's nothing wrong. And sometimes it's limited by vocabulary, but it's also, years of conditioning to tell ourselves, hey, we're fine. And if we tell ourselves we're fine, then we're going to be able to live another day. But really, what happens is we've been storing all of these experiences in our body physically. And so that signals to our brain that, hey, we actually have trauma. We actually have generational trauma that we haven't dealt with, or maybe just we're holding a lot of physical tension. So this is a technique that is just stress reducing in general. So if you're someone that says, I have no trauma, I personally might beg to differ, but if that is your personal MO, I have no trauma, this technique can still provide you so much benefit, just relaxing the body in general, okay? So the approach is holistic. It's focused in grounding the body, voluntary pendiculation, checking in with the self before, during, and after class. There are different movements that I like to also bring into play so that we can release different tension patterns on a deeper level. So if someone's telling me, hey, I've got more tension in my neck and shoulders, or I've got more tension here, we'll do different releases, either through Tai Chi, Qigong, practicing through understanding a little bit more about traditional Chinese medicine, yoga, trauma recovery yoga, breath work, tools from the Center for Mind and Body Medicine, myofascial release, and sound therapy, so that we can further down-regulate the nervous system. So when I say holistic, I'm doing my very best to continue to grow myself and learn so that I can share all of the knowledge that I have learned to help relax my own body and nervous system. We utilize the same exercises with TRE to keep that routine predictable. This helps people in recovery as well. And it also helps us gauge, okay, how have I grown? How have I changed as I start to implement this new experience into my life on a weekly basis? And then we allow time for clientele to reflect after session, to incorporate safe co-regulation and empower self-regulation. Then the next week we typically start class with reflection, move into the movement, and then come into a nice resting position, Shavasana, or just resting for the next 5-10 minutes after class, so that things can fully integrate to a cellular level. And we're going to move into a few videos here. So these videos give you a very brief understanding of what TRE is.
What is TRE? TRE stands for Tension and Trauma Release Exercises. TRE are exercises that assist the body in releasing deep muscular patterns of stress, tension, and trauma by tremoring. TRE safely activates a natural reflex mechanism of shaking or vibrating that releases muscular tension, which calms down the nervous system and encourages the body to return back to a state of balance, release muscular tension, and consequently calm the nervous system. This might sound overwhelming, but these reflexive tremors are natural and when activated in a safe and controlled environment, can help the body return to a state of balance. TRE is a series of exercises that simply and safely activates a natural reflex within the body's nervous system to rid stress, ease tension, and ultimately restore equilibrium. You are completely in control of the shaking and can stop anytime you become uncomfortable. If you've ever seen a dog shake during a loud thunderstorm, you've seen muscles releasing stressful energy. This is a natural mechanism that humans have too. The difference is we've been taught to literally hold it in. So what can you expect during a session with Mental Joe? Your certified provider will walk you through some exercises designed to bring your body to a state of fatigue, not exhaustion. Think less jazzercise, more Tony Robbins. You'll then lay on the floor and let your body do the work for you for the next 20 minutes or so. Your provider will monitor and check in on you to ensure you're comfortable with the process throughout the entire session. The goal is to prep the physical self to a place where it is ready to literally let go of trauma and tension held deep within the body. TRE provides many of the same benefits as yoga, mental health counseling, and massage. Therefore, it's beneficial for releasing everyday stressors, but it's incredibly beneficial in releasing deep-seated stress like PTSD and other types of trauma held onto in the body in a similar way. We all know the effect stress has on the body and how it makes our muscles ache, teeth clench, blood boil, shoulders tense, and eyes twitch. We all know that the body holds on to stress unless we do something to let it go. In short, TRE is a way to let go.
So that video was fantastic. Chad with Mental Joe just did such a great job providing that information in less than 3 minutes. And I just commend it, and I love sharing that video in general. So here is a video that shows a leopard attacking a gazelle-like creature. The leopard gets distracted somehow. The animal is able to look around its surroundings. This animal most likely went into a freeze state, playing dead. And so their heart rate probably was speeding up. Maybe the blood was going to their vital organs. And now they know they're in a safe space and they are shaking out that excess energy. So the body prepared them to experience a stressful situation. And after tremoring, which is natural and in all mammals, this animal is able to recover, take time, and then eventually get up and run away and go live its beautiful life. So I always love sharing those videos. It's super important to visualize and also kind of see, like, how does this happen in nature? What is this all about? And so now we're going to do a little deep dive into the nervous system. And so when we look at the nervous system, we're going to start chatting about the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. Within the central nervous system, you see the brain and the spinal cord. So the brain and then this red line right here. And within the peripheral nervous system, you have the autonomic nervous system. This autonomic, or almost automatic, you can think of it that way, experience is with fight or flight or rest and digest. Okay, so that's super important to know. Other parts of the PNS system are the somatic, which sends motor commands from the central nervous system to voluntary controlled muscles. And when we look at this body here, we look along that red line, that's where we see the 10th cranial nerve, or we call it the vagus nerve. This vagus nerve connects all the way out. So if you look at all of those blue lines, that vagus nerve is our wandering nerve. It impacts our entire body, all of our organs, and sends signals back up to the brain. So when we are directly focusing on impacting the vagus nerve and strengthening it so that we have higher vagal tone is what they call it, then we are building more resiliency in our nervous system. We're helping our body heal, and we're also releasing any sort of tension patterns that we've been holding in our bodies throughout time. So with the autonomic nervous system, you see the sympathetic, which is the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response. You can think of the sympathetic almost as if, I remember it this way, I want someone to give me sympathy when I'm stressed, right? So that's when your body experiences stress. So that's the sympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system is the rest and digest. The rest and digest is something that we all need, right? And in order to be regulated in our nervous system, we want our nervous system to be flexible. And that flexible nervous system looks like a wave. So we want the ability to experience stress and get through that stressful state, but we also don't want to experience that chronically. We want to be able to come out of it and into a rest state, okay? So that nervous system looks more like a wave. And so regulated equals flexible. Okay, so that is your take-home message here. A regulated nervous system is a flexible nervous system. So here's a time where you can pause the video and ask yourself, what are some physical experiences you may have had when you're in a sympathetic state? Notice if you've experienced fight. Notice if you've experienced flight or freeze or fawn, or maybe even a combination of a few of them. Okay, and then start to realize, oh my gosh, does my body actually go back into rest and digest? Or do I need to start helping my body get into the rest and digest? Because even if we experience a low level stress, let's say it's financial stress, which is very common, this low level financial stress just creeps on our nervous system all the time. And so we experience that we're not able to fully rest. We're not feeling safe in our bodies because we are not able to release that, right? So learning how to release that through TRE and get into rest and digest will help us so that we can take action towards our finances. We can take action towards some of these other stressors and change them in our lives. Some of my favorite quotes by Dr. Berselli: neurogenic tremors should be considered a fundamental right of all human beings, just as the United Nations declared water, food, healthcare, and housing fundamental human rights. So this tremor mechanism is something that we all should have access to. We should all know about this, right? It's super important, especially for those who are struggling, maybe in war-ridden zones. There's a lot of conflict going on, so being able to provide this to people so they can share it with their communities is important so that we don't carry the trauma into the next generation. The self-induced therapeutic tremor mechanism of TRE restores the interpersonal relationship that assists the individual to reestablish their interpersonal relationships. Now, when I started doing this work, I noticed, hey, I'm from Wisconsin. I didn't feel like I was able to belong there. Different communities, I'm not able to belong there. I'm looking for a community that I feel like I can belong. And what's interesting is this is not an uncommon experience of people to feel like they don't belong. But after I started working on my nervous system, working on feeling safe in my body, I was able to accurately see, oh my gosh, I'm actually safe in this environment. I'm safe here. And I am finding communities where I do feel like I belong. And that is all based off of my internal experience. And I was able to see that reflect in my external experience. What happens in your body when you experience TRE? First, we make sure we ground our bodies. We go through a series of stretching and tiring of different muscles, beginning from the calves and ankles. We then engage the core by lifting our body into a bridge, which you see in the upper right-hand photo, to engage central pattern generators, or CPGs. CPGs are a network of neurons inside the gray matter of the spinal column. CPGs are responsible for the tremor mechanism, allowing the tremor to move freely along the spinal column. The tremor begins in the inner thighs, moves through the psoas, right in front of those hips, and then eventually up the spine to the brain. The psoas muscle connects the legs, pelvis, and trunk of body. The tightness in this muscle will cause low back pain, tight neck, shoulders. Let me tell you, you name it, that psoas, when it's contracted, is also called the fight or flight muscle. So it will help keep you in that chronic stressful situation, that chronic stressful experience, okay? So by releasing that psoas and pulling it out of contraction, you're able to allow your body to relax. Common experiences with tremoring during and after. During, you may experience shaking, large or small. Do your best to not judge any of your movements. Allow yourself to also experience intuitive movement. If you feel like moving your shoulder, if you feel like moving your head back and forth, just notice what your body wants and just go with the flow. Stretching, rocking, S-shaped movements, yawning, laughter, joy, emotion. Please note there's so much variability within every person, and that's what makes this work so exciting. It's so fun to learn about yourself. It's so fun for me to constantly learn as well from all of you, and it's just an absolute joy. After the experience, you may experience feeling present and grounded, connected with your body, mind, and spirit. You might feel tired or energetic or grateful. We experience healthy co-regulation when doing TRE with others, so doing it in a group gives you so much benefit. You may notice emotional shifts or the want or need to expel an emotion that has been stuck in the body. Right, so that might come up with an emotion, and there are also changes in the five senses. It's nothing to fear about, though. It is just the coolest process, and just entirely relaxing. I would say relaxing. We get to learn more about ourselves. We get to judge ourselves less, and then also engage in community, who's also each person has just so much to bring to the table, so much knowledge. And so it's just such a joy to be able to see that growth happening and being a part of it. So with this process, we integrate TRE and recenter the self. Integration occurs on many different levels of the human organism. This happens on a cellular level all the way out to the just external view of the human. So what happens is we experience something called synaptic pruning. And during childhood, well into adulthood, our brain eliminates extra synapses to allow neurons to transmit electrical or chemical signals to other neurons. Our body essentially is strengthening and deleting different pathways so that we can function more efficiently. We're improving vagal tone, which improves resiliency to stress. And then we also notice our nervous system becomes flexible or regulated, where we can flow easily in and out of a stressful situation instead of hanging on to chronic conditions. Emotions, memories, patterns may surface, which allows us to reflect and respond in a new way, alchemize these emotions, and continue to move forward and thrive. recentering the body. I always focus on helping people talk about how they romanticize their life after TRE class. Do you drink a cup of tea, drink electrolytes? Do you journal, take time to reflect, take care of your needs that you may have? I'd like for you to pause the video, maybe write down what romanticizing your life looks like to you and continue to add on to that. Those are little glimmers in your life. And when we focus on the glimmers instead of some of the harder things that we all experience in life, the trials and tribulations, our outlook in life starts to change when we start to focus on the positive. When do we do TRE? You can do TRE on your own if you feel comfortable. It is recommended to work with a certified TRE provider. You can find the certification on www.traumaprevention.com. And I am one person that is certified. You can find me on that website. And in order to deepen your practice and be guided safely, I highly encourage you to work with someone that has done TRE for years. I am on my 4th year of doing TRE, and then working on moving into my 3rd year of providing care to others with TRE. And so I've learned quite a bit through my own patterns and then also through others, and how to work through those safely. So gradually increasing our TRE work, I suggest once per week, up to 2 times, just starting out, no more than 15 minutes per session, unless guided or directed to. And doing it on your own, I suggest starting with just maybe 5 minutes and see how you feel. And then moving into 2 to 3 times per week over time. Okay. If you are not my client, feel free to still reach out. My email is sam@nutre-llc.com. I'm always happy to be a resource for you. I'm always happy to help guide you through maybe different things that you're going through as a person. This is what community is all about, and I want to always offer that hand. Okay. Nervous system regulation. A flexible nervous system is a healthy nervous system. The state of our nervous system depicts on how we experience the world. Okay, where does this hold true for you? What does the world look like for you right now? What are you focusing on? What are you moving through? What are you alchemizing? How does your body feel? We then also focus on vocabulary. Stress and trauma can dull our ability to feel safe in our bodies and truly feel. By bringing in safety and allowing any emotion to arise, we allow ourselves to live much richer lives with all of the different colors of life, right? So when we increase our vocabulary, instead of saying, I feel sad, angry, or happy, and we say, oh, I noticed a sensation of just being in awe or maybe inspired and expanding, we start to notice ourselves feeling more, experiencing more emotion, because we're limited by our vocabulary, unfortunately. And when we're able to express, then we're able to expand the complexity of our being, which is so beautiful and profound. Body budgeting, which is coined by neuroscientist Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett. Highly suggest reading any of the work that she has done. She also has a website with a lot of really fun articles to read. She talks about body budgeting. So our bodies constantly predict what is about to happen next. Our brain, that's what our brain does. It's constantly predicting. This determines how much of our experience is rooted in the outside world or in our own brains. Signals to and from the brain move to the body, and feelings stem from the body's preparation to take action. So by noting what type of stimulus we have in our lives, What do our relationships look like? Are they healthy? Do they feel healthy to you? Maybe this is something that we engage in conversation about over time, because maybe you learn, maybe that wasn't a safe person in my life, right? And so then we look at, all right, well, do we watch the news all the time? That is incredibly dysregulating to the nervous system. What else? Is our job stressful for us? Are we experiencing financial stress? There's so many more experiences that we can take a look at and reshape so that we can look at life in a different way and bring more value to our body in terms of our budget, right? So it's the same idea as when you go to a grocery store, you only have $75, and the $75 is going to help you feed yourself for the week, right? And you don't have any more. All right, so if you are at your cap, you got to put something back if you go over your $75. Right? So if you go over that $75 when it comes to your body and your nervous system, it might send you into overwhelm. It might allow your body to maybe come into this chronic sense of stress, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Right? And so by living within our means of our body budget, we start to notice we live life more slowly. We live life with more joy, and we start to just appreciate and find more gratitude in our lives with a flexible nervous system. And then moving here too, if you've paused this and you want to come back, that's okay too. This is a video that is always going to be up, and I would love for you to watch it a few times over, because you may learn something new each time you watch it. So this slide, we talk about top-down processing and bottom-up processing. When we talk about talk therapy, we are doing something called top-down processing. Therapy offers a range of approaches to a client's health to interpret contextual clues from previous experiences and expectations. This processing is very helpful. It's also important to not view it as superior to other therapies. Psychotherapy does offer incredible insight into top-down processing and how we make sense of the world. It also is not the final piece to our puzzle in how we release our trauma. When we look at bottom-up processing, we process sensory information and use clues to understand that information to begin to reconnect the mind-body-soul connection. Somatic therapies such as TRE, EMDR, etc. foster on integration of the mind and the body. This integration looks like understanding and acknowledging feelings and emotions down to integration at the cellular level. How do you want to approach your healing? I like to focus on the sandwich effect, right? So really bringing in reflection as we are beginning to regulate our nervous systems, right? So bringing in a little piece of that top-down processing, and then also experiencing that feeling in the body through the experiential of TRE and somatic movement. And so I believe in bringing in both types of processing. How can we be more present in the body? We can find different ways to ground our body. You can ask yourself how you like to ground. Maybe you put your feet in the dirt, in the grass. Maybe you recenter yourself by allowing your back to be straight, not stiff. Inhaling up your spine. Exhaling down your spine. Shift your attention from the story to your five senses. Okay, what are you noticing in your body? How does that make you feel? Are there emotions attached to it? Is there a story attached to it? Okay. How can we transition or alchemize this and move it into a new direction? We can calm our body in different ways Feel free to just ask more questions, get curious. When we're curious, we're able to obtain so much more information. Ask me as many questions as you'd like. I love it. And if I can't answer it, I'll do my best to answer it at a different time, right? After some proper research. So some of the work that I do, I'm going to share the classes that I offer. I offer individual sessions, group sessions, and on the side, I provide yoga classes, aroma yin, restorative yoga, and vinyasa flow. Group class has been at $65 for a drop-in for the last 2.5 years. I've been open. I don't plan on that changing. I would like this to be accessible for people. And if that is a problem for you, please talk to me, and we can discuss something that works for you, okay? Individual classes end up focusing on 90 minutes, and we focus entirely on you at the individual level, and it looks much different than the group class because we are mainly focused on you and providing that attention and care that you so deserve, and that is at $175. So the TRE descriptions with the classes that I provide, there are intro to TRE classes, and there will be a rotation that includes a sound bath or a guided meditation or yoga nidra or visualization. The mind-body focus, we learn different techniques on how to create dialogue with the mind and the body. The mind-body dialogue expands the heart-brain. It increases proprioception and increases interoception as well. The last two classes are the spiritually grounded TRE class. So this practice brings a celestial awareness to your grounded nature. We explore subtle energies of the universe through the quantum model. So discussing quantum mechanics, discussing honestly anything that you're curious about, while also remaining grounded through the practice of TRE. I find this class to be very expansive, insightful, and just recharging, right? So discussing topics that you normally probably wouldn't talk about in everyday conversation. And last but not least, a specialty class called the Expressive Release TRE class. There is a body-based TRE segment which dovetails with a drawing and painting component. This class also has extra materials involved with it. I'm really excited to share that class with the Phoenix community out here. I might bring it virtually, depending on if people are interested in it, but I'm really, really excited to bring that into practice here. And then the yoga classes, pretty explanatory, self-explanatory, or an aroma yin class. These are all very focused on just relaxing the body, and sometimes we need more movement in a vinyasa flow so that we can bring that tension back into a rest and digest state in our body, and then as well as a sound bath, right? So sound bath can be added to any of these classes, something that I also offer, and I love to spoil everyone with that class as well. So there are different packages that I provide when we talk about the group classes, and we're just discussing the virtual component. Instead of doing a drop-in TRE class once a week for a suggested 12 weeks to start off with to regulate your nervous system, you might decide to do a membership of $190 per month, which drops the class to about $44. You have access to 2 TRE classes and a yoga class each week. And once you finish 48 TRE classes, that entitles you into a leadership position in the community. And if this is something you just really enjoy, you want to continue on, and you enjoy the people that you're building connection with, at that point you might say, hey, well, I really want to continue doing this. And we drop your $190 per month to $48 for life. Okay, so this is the incentive. I'm going to do my best to send a little care package out to say congratulations. You've done TRE for just about a year now. You've done some wonderful work, and whatever you have done on yourself, you're able to now provide that experience and wisdom and knowledge back into the community. And so I value that as well. And I want to incentivize people after they've done 48 TRE classes to just continue on the journey. This is just a beautiful way to congratulate yourself and to keep the tremor alive in your life, right? And so there's also an individual package. So feel free to pause the video, read through these descriptions, and then there's also the community package as well. My main focus as things are moving and grooving are to get more group reflections on board, get some courses out to you. If there's anything you're like, hey, I want more information on this, Sam, let me know. I will do a deep dive into it, provide some coursework here, more information, more knowledge for people, and then just bring some more workshop-like experiences to the table as well, with tea ceremonies, and just really build this community out. I'm really looking forward to doing that with all of you, with Nutra. This is my website, my contact information, Facebook, Instagram, email, my number. Please feel free to reach out. I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen and to learn more about nervous system regulation and TRE. Thanks so much.